So I'm joined by Victor Lee, who is the SVP for Hasbro. Victor, fantastic keynote that you just did there. How can we keep up as an industry? I mean, I've been in this industry a couple of years and it's just completely and utterly changed since when I first started. So what should we be doing to keep up?
It's a lot of people ask that question. I don't think it's as much as keeping up versus keeping your hand on things and keeping your ears open. You're going to hear on any given day thousands of messages of what you should do, what you shouldn't do. You're going to see hundreds of books that tell you what you should do and shouldn't do. I think the first thing anybody needs to do is to put their opinion around it first. And there's some guessing, there's some historical successes, but then at the end it is, what are you comfortable with doing? How much of a risk are you willing to take? Because everybody's taking a risk. Nobody can truly say there is a true best practice for anything in digital because it's so new and it's always evolving and ever changing. So I think it's just keeping your ears open and listening to people and reading up on your own and then making a pretty sound, informed decision.
And how can industry leaders distinguish between, the new cool fad as opposed to something that will actually impact business?
It's funny because when you say the word fad or a trend, by definition, that's going to go away. And so I don't think anybody should try to do something that's going to go away. And as brands and as the industry, you want to develop something with legacy and develop something that is evergreen, so to say. So I think the hard part is for anybody is to really disseminate out what's going to disappear, what's a shiny object. I think the first rule of thumb, at least what we do, is we understand when something is new and it's exciting, everybody gets excited. But when you truly apply it to your business, will this help my business? Will this create a legacy for my business? Will this drive my brand? Will this help what the brand means? Then you're getting closer to whether you want to do it or not. I think a lot of people jump into what's really cool because you see it on a video, you hear it in an article, or somebody talks about it. There have been a lot of failures, and there are a lot of successes, but I think the careful thing we have to do is not jumping on something because everybody said it was cool, but jumping on something because it helps you out personally from your brand and your company perspective. And if you find that line, you'll understand, you'll have a good filter of, it's cool for now, and I know a lot of brands are doing it, but it might not be for us. That's the hardest thing to do, but a lot of people are able to do that, and when they're doing that, they'll find the right one for them.
Okay. And obviously, transformation, keeping up with changes, that's all very well said and done if you're in a smaller business. But what about, a bigger organization where there is lots of bureaucracy and red tape? How can you adapt and transform?
Rome wasn't built in a day. And for large companies, a lot of companies, they were successful for a reason. And when you go into a large company, they're successful. And an individual isn't going to make them more successful. It takes a mindset, it takes a family, and it takes a large group. And I think leaders have to attack it one at a time. I think they have to approach it with the simple things that are grounded with enough information, data, and historical successes that allow them to be successful. Once you start developing that, then you can start going into bigger things. And that's exactly how we've done it all along, whether it was when I was at the agency or even at Hasbro, is there are easy things to accomplish. There's a lot of dipping your toe into certain things, and then every now and then, once, twice, a couple times a year, you go big. And when you have some of those wins, you start to develop a muscle memory for everybody in the organization to say, well, we've done it. So I think the security of defense, I don't want to do it, starts to lessen a little bit more.
Okay. And lastly, I mean, in a digital marketing world that we're in now that's constantly evolving, always changing, how do we guide talent as an industry?
I'm not sure it's exactly guiding talent versus cultivating it and pulling out of talent what they don't believe they have. And I think finding good talent is finding people that are willing to grow with the industry, not people that think that they are the industry. I don't believe I'm the industry. I don't believe I'm the digital industry. I believe that I am a disciple of it. I believe that I am a student of it, and I try to learn every single day. And as we have talent that's coming in from everywhere now and working on so many different things in companies, it's hard to try to find who believes that they are an expert, because I don't believe there's any experts in the digital industry, but who is really a student of it, because you're always going to be a student of it. And if anybody says that they're no longer a student of this industry, it's not true. The industry is too young, and it's always growing, and it's ever growing. And I think if you find people that are so passionate about the learning and the failing, and I think that's hard for a lot of people. It's hard for anybody to admit failure. And when you have people that are so willing to fail, because it's not of what they learn, but it's them being a pioneer, and then using that to adapt and adopt other things that they do in the future. I think that's where I look for talent.
Perfect, Victor. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks.